Hello everyone, I hope you're all having a great day. Today I wanted to go ahead and do the figure opinions meme. I saw Sakura Unboxing doing this, but she said that she saw it from a user named Pakuchino. So this has kind of been floating around the YouTube sphere, and it's always fun to me whenever you're part of a community, when there's like some sort of tag or some sort of like chart like this, that as many people who can get involved and go ahead and put this out there, because it's more of a it's a community thing that isn't so much just buying up hauls and showing everyone. It's on a whole nother level of getting to see what people's tastes are, what people are like interested in, and just it spreads more of the community aspect, I guess, is what I'm trying to say. So I really appreciate stuff like this. The original post was done by a user on MFC, or My Figure Collection, for those of you who don't know, Sith Malls, so thank you to them. They put a little post that said that it was totally fine to use this, so we just had to give credit. So I gave credit where credit is due. That being said, I didn't want to include one whole row that they had initially posted, partially for time's sake, because I have a feeling it's going to be kind of a long video, but also because I just didn't feel strongly enough about these few categories. So I went ahead and edited it. So my version is a little bit edited, but they're all still from the original chart. I didn't come up with any of these on my own. So without further ado, let's begin. The first box is favorite figure you own. So the favorite figure I own is actually behind me, so I gotta grab it real quick. Flandre Scarlet figure. I adore this figure so much, and I think the reason that this is my favorite is because she just really surprised me. So when I first got back into collecting figures, because I've been collecting since high school, and then a few years back I started collecting again, she was one of the first scale figures that I picked up. I think she might actually be my first female scale, to be honest, because I started by getting the Touken Ranbu figures, and prior to that it was all video game related, so I think she's my first female scale, and I was just super impressed with her. The outfit itself is very nostalgic for me because it reminds me a lot of Ichigo or Zoe, depending on which version of Tokyo Mew Mew or Mew Mew Power you watched. I watched Mew Mew Power, 4Kids version, when I was a kid, and I was obsessed with it. I used to love it so much. Me and all my friends would watch it and like talk about it in camp. And so the maid cafe outfits have always been kind of nostalgic, whether or not they actually match those of that show or not. Because of that, I think that this is just, in a sense, brings out that nostalgia, even though the character is a character that I wasn't aware of till later in life. That being said, I also adore the one Touhou game I played. I knew about the Bad Apple music video for like well over, I want to say it's been out at least 10 years ago was when I found that thing. It was a long time ago. And I really liked that little music video. Finally played the games, like, I want to say within the last year was the first time I played one of the games. And I loved it. I was like, oh my god, I didn't realize how much I love bullet hell games. So I wanted a figure from Touhou, and I went ahead and looked, and she looked pretty. I was like, alright, out of them all, I think I like this one the most. And when I got her, I just fell in love. The pumpkins are a big sell for me because I adore Halloween, I adore pumpkins, and like even my whole kitchen's theme is pumpkins, and my car is named Pumpkin. It's like, it's a thing. So that was definitely a huge selling point. I love the like Halloween-y aspect, the candy, even the little cake she has. I love that the strawberry, it has a gloss finish on it just to make it look a little bit like caramelized or whatever. And her wings, the way they're attached in the back, making that cute little heart, I adore it. I think her design is just so pretty. Her base, I like that it's just very plain and see-through. I know some people are stickler about bases. I'm not, but I think that this one works really well at not taking away from the figure. I will say that I don't totally know this character as other people might, bigger Touhou fans and stuff, but I adore this figure. I truly do. And if you do like this character, if you like Flandre, I know that there is a scale that people tend to like better, because I rarely see people actually have this one. A lot of people talk about the other one. So yeah, I just think she's so pretty overall. And I really don't think there's anything else I can say about her. I think that this just speaks to a lot of things that I personally am interested in, and brings out a huge like nostalgia level for me. So I think that's why I ended up liking her so much, and I think she's my favorite because I didn't expect to like her as much as I did. So So the next box on this list is a favorite figure that I do not own, and for me that would be, it's almost like a little, because there's a little bit of a story that goes along with this. The scale version of Altair from Recreators, which is a 1/8 scale, and it slipped out of my grasp recently, and that's why it's kind of like, So I saw her go up not too long ago on Yahoo Auctions. She's actually been going up on MFC pretty frequently, at least within the last few months. So she's out there. Nowadays, it's hard to find her for anything less than 300. And personal rule, I will not pay more than 200 for a 1/8 scale figure. It's just not, I don't think it's worth it money-wise, so I will not do it. Specifically with 1/8. 1/7 there are a few exceptions, but 1/8 I feel like that's too much to ask for the price. So because of that, I have a rule with this figure that I won't spend anywhere near that amount. Because of that, when I saw her go up, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go ahead, and I budgeted out what I was willing to spend on her, and I just bid it. I always just bid my full amount, and then I'm like, all right, let's see if I win. And I didn't. Someone outbid me. I saw it happen, and I was like, crap. Well, what's the point of having a budget if you don't follow it, am I right? So I just went ahead and let it go. Which, you know, she'll go up again. That's something with figure collecting, is like, it will always go up again. You'll find her for a great price again. I will say that I definitely lost out on that one, because she was, I think she was like $225 was what she ended up going out for, and I was like, that was a pretty good price. But the version of this figure that I want specifically is the one with the extra pieces, because you can get her as just her, but then you can get her with doing one of her attacks. And while I think that the ring of swords looks really dumb, you can arrange them so they look like waves of swords, and I really think that looks neat. And I would really love to get that, but, you know, it is what it is. I'll get it eventually. Next is favorite scale figure, which is kind of funny because my favorite figure is a scale, so I'm just gonna go ahead and pick my second favorite scale just to, you know, put something in this box. So also behind me, the 1/8 Vash Stampede figure. I got him and, to think about it for a second, Nick, for a little over $300. I want to say they were less than $350 or around there, and I got them together without a box, but Vash came with his glasses. I also got the little dude that came with them and the little cat. I choose not to usually display them, but I do have them, and yeah, overall I would say that he has to be one of my favorites just because I think his sculpt is beautiful. I was just getting into Trigun when I first got him. I got him like a year or a year and a half ago, and I loved his design. I was falling in love with the series, and I'm so glad I got him because he goes up for so much money right now, and I don't know why. Do not spend $700 to $1,000 on this figure, please. Thank you. Not worth it. It's amazing, but it's not that amazing. Even if you're a huge Vash fan, eventually you'll be able to find him for not that much money. But at the time, I will say that I got a steal because generally people were selling Vash for around $400 with box, without his glasses. And the fact that I managed to get him and Matt, who he's just back there chilling, yeah, I managed to get them both together for $350 or under, and with the glasses. So that was very important to me. I do also just want to say real quick, because we're talking about Trigun here, I am not sure about his redesign at all. I do not like it right off the bat, but you know, maybe it'll grow on me. I just feel like it's too soft for what Trigun is, and I feel like this outfit is so right on par with the setting and the Trigun like universe, you know, like kind of, they all have kind of interesting outfits, and I think that his just fits so brilliantly into the Trigun like theme, I guess would be what I'd call it. You know, it would be like softening up the look of someone from Mad Max, you know, it just like something kind of like, it's not the same, and that's kind of what I feel like with Vash here, is like the reboot might be good, but I'm off the bat taking a few points off just because of the redesign's look. So let me know if you think the same thing, and we'll see if it's any good. Next box, favorite prize figure. I don't have it up here, it is in my dining room at the moment, but my Sophitia figure that I unboxed in my last video, go ahead and check out that video if you have not yet. It's a really amazing figure. It is beautiful. It is way better than it needed to be considering what it was. It's a figure that came with the 6th game, a certain edition, I'm not really sure which one. I found it on eBay for 35 bucks. It is a beautiful figure. It is way bigger than you would think it would be, and it's so much better sculpted and shaded than you would anticipate considering its price and the fact that it was just an extra that came from a video game. So definitely highly recommend that one, especially considering the price. Like, you really can't go wrong. She's pretty much a 1/7 scale. Next box is favorite Figma or Nendoroid. I'm just going to go ahead and give you both of mine because while I'm not a huge Nendoroid collector, I mean, I do have like a ton of Nendoroid petites because I have the whole Girls in Panzer collection, but sticking to just normal Nendoroid. Favorite for both, and yeah, her gun fell off. I'm surprised her hat hasn't fallen off yet. I think the thing should be magnetic, and it's not. They're both Tanya figures. So I got the Tanya Figma here, which is an amazing Figma. I love it. And the Nendoroid, which honestly I'm not a big Nendoroid fan, so, you know, take it with a grain of salt. I think she's probably the best Nendoroid I have. I do have Envy from FMA. He's probably a close second, but I'm just not a big Nendoroid fan or a big Nendoroid collector, so it's kind of hard for me to judge them. On the other hand, for the Figmas, I will say that I do have Raiden from Metal Gear Rising Revengeance as well, and I don't think he's a, like, actual Figma, but he's a action figure, you know, like, not necessarily Figma brand, but he is basically the same thing, and he is amazing as well. I've had him for years, so probably since I was like in high school maybe. He is fantastic, and I highly recommend him as well, so wanted to give him a quick mention real quick as well. But Tanya is just perfect. I would not change a thing about this. I think she is so beautiful, though I will say that sadly Tanya figures do always go up in the aftermarket, so if you're interested in her, it's kind of gonna suck to find her for a good price. But she is amazing, and I love it. I think this is so cool, especially since the other ones, the other figures that I have of her are all of her in her like full military garb, whereas this is more of like combat military garb, you know? So definitely recommend. I think she's just perfect. So the next box is unpopular figure that you like, and going on the same theme of Tanya actually, the one that's coming out this year. I pre-ordered the Furyu Tanya 1/7 scale that is overpriced. And I know it's overpriced, but as I said, Tanya figures always go up in the aftermarket. So I'm really excited for this figure because it is so different. It's her in another different outfit, as I said. Like, with Tanya it's kind of hard because there's not too many outfits, I feel like. And it looks different enough from the others that I'm like, alright, I kind of can warrant getting it. The price is a little scary, admittedly, but I'm just gonna budget for it and it'll be fine. And that all being said, though, a lot of people have issues with it. I know that Zuko had mentioned that she looks like she's about to take a... My fiance cannot overlook that any longer, and I think that makes the figure even more funny. Because I'm just like, oh, nice. Nice. So that he'll forever think that. Luckily, she'll be up here, so it's not like he'll have to see it every day and be like, dear God, what is happening? But my hang-up was the feet. I know some other people were also hung up on the feet. So, but to me it's like, it's based off of official artwork. I think it's something different. I'm totally cool with it at this point. I'm just kind of like, yep, along. We'll wait and I'll do a review, like an actual just figure unboxing of that one, because I don't know how many people are actually going to get her. And I'll go ahead and, you know, I'll bite the bullet for everyone. I'll put up the video, I'll review her, why not, right? So, anyways, yeah, that's a figure that not many people are excited about, that's for sure. A popular figure that I dislike. There's that Bunny Miku that people seem to be really excited about. Oh, you know what? There's another bunny. Can I just make a whole bunny figures in general thing? For the most part, there are some bunnies that I think are cool or okay, but most bunnies I certainly don't think are worth the price tag you're paying for them. That being said, specifically that stupid bunny that everyone has, that has tactical gear And it's like, everyone says, oh, but she's such a unique bunny, except everybody owns her, so how unique can she possibly be? I know, it's not the same uniqueness, but you get my point. It's like, I'm sick of seeing her, okay? I'm sick of seeing her. I'm sick of seeing the freaking Gojo in everyone's collection. I know nothing about Jujutsu Kaisen, by the way. I can barely say it, obviously. But I'm just like, you know what? I'm done. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of seeing that when I was first, like, watching people on here, I saw a lot of the Gojo, and I was just like, what? I mean, I guess it's cool, but I'm like, everyone has it. Everyone's talking about it. It just kind of gets old after a while. And then the Miku, I honestly just don't see the appeal. I think her torso kind of looks too long, or something like that. Like, something looks off to me. So I guess, you know, people are really excited about that, at least the people I watch, and I was like, I don't get it. But, you know what, whatever. So next box is good you wish would be made into a figure. Anything that has to do with Lane? Anything from that book for Girls in Panzer, pretty much. I mean, there are plenty of figures that I would like to be made. I would like an entire line of Recreators figures. I would like a Dai Landau figure. I would like more of the FMA bad guys, more of the homunculi. I think that would be really cool. They did the Greed one and didn't do any of the others, and until I see that they're doing any of the others, I ain't picking up Greed. I'm not that committed. But to me it's like, there's a lot of figures that I would like to be made. My biggest ones, though, are another Lane figure, just a pop-up parade. I don't even need anything fancy, just a pop-up parade, please. And there are just so many good designs in that Girls in Panzer thing. I think my number ones would definitely be the ones that I had mentioned before, which would be the Cowgirls for the Saunders girls. I think that they would be amazing. Just overall, all three of them look fantastic. Also, the Anzio girls as rock stars, I think, is just a fantastic idea. I feel like they need to make more Girls in Panzer figures that are based off this. I've seen a lot of these made into, like, acrylic stands, admittedly, so I guess that's something. But even within that realm, I don't feel like there are nearly enough. They could definitely do more. Like, these are really cute little traditional looking Russian outfits here. So many of the Girls in Panzer, like, figures go down in the aftermarket, so it's hard to tell what actually does well and what actually doesn't. Though I will say the streetwear outfits, those are more expensive nowadays, so maybe, you know, you're onto something. Maybe we'll pay for the ones that are a little bit different, maybe. Alright, well, I gotta try and talk to these people who definitely are not watching my video. Next is figure you like but don't know the character. A lot of the Azure Lane figures, I would say. I like a lot of them, and there's like the one Blue Archive one that was like controversial for whatever reason. I know the real reason. Yeah, I'm just not gonna mention it here. That figure, I don't know the character. And honestly, she was painted differently, which again, I didn't know the character, so obviously they painted her accurate to the character, but when I saw her not painted, I kind of was interested, and I don't buy figures of characters that I don't know. I'm assuming they don't, you know, they have an actual series that they're from. But no, I was like, oh, that's really hard. I kind of really want that. And it was a bunny for all of, out of everything. It was a bunny and a figure of a character that I really didn't know. And thank God she was painted, like, terribly, in my opinion. I hate those colors. So I was like, wow, I don't have to worry about that anymore. Good. But yeah, so that one comes to mind. The Elstafo racing figure. I really like that figure. I'm not a big fan of racing figures, so it's weird that I even like it. And I don't know who Elstafo is. I've never seen Fate. I don't think I ever will. Well, maybe one day. I should probably not say never will. I probably will see it, but I have so many other things that are probably better to watch, or that I'd like more. Maybe not objectively better, but other things I'd be interested in seeing before Fate. So yeah, it's probably not happening anytime soon, and I do like that figure, but I'm just like, nah, not that interested in it. Also, the Azure Lane figures, you know, as I mentioned, it's just, they're very expensive, and I don't like the game. I tried to play it like twice, and I was like, nah, it's not for me. It's just not my thing. So Yeah, but a lot of them are really pretty, and I would be interested if I knew the characters or liked them. But the one that I like the most, I literally... it's like the only character I know I don't like. There is actually one that I'm going to be getting, but I know the series that she's from. She'll be in a future haul of mine, and I don't even remember her name off the top of my head. That's how little I know this character. But it's one of the girls from Strike Witches, because the Strike Witch figures are so cheap, it's insane. And I was like, I kind of like the design, and wow, this is like, what was she? 14 bucks? For a 1/7 scale? I'm gonna make a whole video about that, because it's just insane how incredibly cheap the Strike Witches stuff is, and I get it. I personally watched like 3 episodes of Strike Witches so far. I just think it's funny, and kind of like nostalgic in the way of like, I used to watch other shows that kind of remind me of it. So I'm like, alright, I mean, it's not a good show, but it's enjoyable, so who cares, right? But I don't know who this character is, so I might like totally regret buying her because I might hate her. Like, I already hate some of the Strike Witch girls, so I might hate her. But I love her design, so, you know, we'll see how it is. I probably won't get rid of her, but just because she's so cheap, but hopefully I like the character. Anyways, that was a really long... I feel like that was a really long answer, and I gave many an answer to that, so let's move on to the next one, shall we? Figure you wouldn't buy again. Well, that's easy. Neptunia. Straight up Neptunia. I would not buy that figure again. It's a pretty figure. I have it, like, very nicely on display. I'll show you that because I'm not bringing her up here. I literally dropped her 3 times in a row the other day because I was trying to move something. And 3 times in a row, and I busted her wing. It still works fine, it's not a big deal, whatever. But yeah, and I don't keep the boxes. So, unless I'm really unsure about a figure. And at first I wasn't unsure about her. I was like, yes, she's so pretty! And then I played the Neptunia games a little bit more than I already had, and I was like, yeah, I'm bored. Oh no! Oh no, how much did I spend on this figure and now I'm bored of the game? That was a bad financial decision. Beautiful figure, beautiful design, love the concept of the game, love the fact that they're supposed to be like consoles, but anime girls of consoles. I adore that kind of stuff, and I just can't... I wouldn't buy her again. It was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. Other than that though, I can show you this one. This is pretty bad. And I painted over, it's really funny. I can't grab every piece of this because it's just gonna be obnoxious. But this is, it was Sniper Wolf from Metal Gear. Her face still is, just horrible. Her outfit painting and everything, I don't remember it being that great. I literally just went over this with acrylic one time, and I think it looks better even though my acrylic job is pretty dang bad. I didn't really understand how to paint figures, but you know what? I also don't think it's the worst thing. Eventually I'll probably repaint it, like, to look nicer, but for now she's on display with my other Metal Gear figures. She's fun to display with the other figures, but this is just so... I don't even know why I got her. I don't know if she's even scale. I think she's pretty cheap nowadays as far as scales go. And if you're interested, I guess go for it, but she is not worth it. Her gun's cool though. Character I don't get the hype for, Miku. I understand liking Miku, and I know I'm totally one to talk because I'm literally like collecting every Girls in Panzer figure out there, but I feel like the market's super oversaturated with some figures, and Miku's a big one. I just feel like there's a bajillion re-releases and just the same outfit over and over again, and there's so many like different versions, and I just don't understand the need, but the supply and demand's there, and that's why they keep making them. So I think that's what confuses me even more, and I think it's cool. Like, there's this one chick I watch, I'll go ahead and link her, I can't remember her name for my life, but she mostly collected Miku stuff, Miku and Black Rock Shooter, and I thought that was really cool. In fact, I appreciate someone's collection more when they have a majority from one series, and you can tell that they specialize in collecting one thing, because I feel like they really, really like that versus they're just buying figures because they think they're pretty. Like, you know, they could have the most trash tier figure and they still love it because it's of a character they love. And I appreciate that much more. It's like a personal thing. But I loved her collection. I thought it was beautiful, but it was Miku. And Like, if she was a one-off, I'd be like, oh, whatever. But a lot of people have a lot of Mikos. Another one would be Rem. So, overpriced figure that is worth it. I think that if you have enough interest in either the character, the series, or whatever, then it is worth it. I think that, though, if something is super overpriced, you just need to research it. So, for me, personally, that would be my Reiner resin, which I spent not what he goes for now, nowhere near what he goes for now, but it was still overpriced in my opinion. Also my Lane doll, not figure, don't want to confuse people, the Lane doll definitely was overpriced. All the Lane dolls actually overpriced, technically speaking. I feel like as long as you are really attached to the series or the character, it makes sense. My petite Nendoroids of the Girls in Panzer, just because of how small they are and what their original prices were, I feel like there are a lot of figures that could fit this category, but I think as long as it's something you really love and care about, series-wise and character-wise, I see nothing wrong with it. I think that's totally fine, and that's what makes it worth it. What is the price you're willing to go over price? That's a personal decision, but I think as long as you have more going for it other than, oh, it looks kind of nice, like, you know, it's like, oh, it looks pretty, so I decided to buy it, even though it was like $200 more than what I would normally pay on something I actually cared more about, and like, you know, like to the character in the series. That's a bad idea. So as long as you're not doing that, I think you're fine. Overpriced figure that isn't worth it. So the resin statue that I have, what it goes for now, is not worth it. Most of the things that I bought for more than what they're worth, I still got for a great price. And I think that's part of what made it feel like it was worth it, was the price that I paid for it, despite what its price should have been. So yeah, out of all of my figures, I think the one that's probably the most worth it would actually be the Tanya Figma that I showed, because she does go for more than what she came out for. She's not terrible. Actually, no, that's kind of a lie. I've seen her go up for $300, and I don't know who's paying that. So yeah, she's overpriced nowadays. The Vash figure's overpriced nowadays. They're too pricey for what you're getting out of it. My favorite figure line. So the favorite figure line I own some of the figures from. There's only really two that I even have that are like figure lines that aren't, again, the petite Nendoroids of Girls and Panzer Girls. So I'm basically stuck between my, I'm pretty sure the Kotobukiya, Merrick and Bakura figures, or my Touken Ranbus. Between the two, Touken Ranbu wins, but honestly, I'm going to be collecting the Girls and Panzer Dreamwave figures, which are expensive, and the K one is a grail of mine that I really, really want. So, yeah, I want to get that line. I really love that line. I just don't own anything from it yet, but that is a goal of mine, is to collect that entire line, and they're still coming out with them as far as I know, so I'm really excited about that. And the earlier ones are the more difficult ones to get. I do plan on collecting a few this year. Hopefully I can get like maybe 2 of them, maybe 3. Honestly, finding Alice, finding Mika aren't going to be that hard. Mika used to go for like 300, but I've seen her go up on Yahoo Auctions for 120 and no one's biting, so I'm like, alright, cool, that's good. Her price is going back down, because that was kind of insane. But yeah, they're 1/8, which is my big, like, again, I don't pay very much for 1/8. I really don't want to pay more than 200 for a 1/8. And the K one, the last time I saw her, she went up on Ami Ami in B condition, and she was exactly $300. So hopefully I'll be able to find them for not nearly that much, but we'll see. I am willing to pay a little bit more for K, but not tons. Anyways, that will be hopefully my favorite figure line, because I am really excited for it, but we'll have to see. And figure you regret not buying is, again, the Altair figure. I want that figure so bad. And I don't have it. Other than that, I can't really think of any that came out where I'm like, dang, I really should have gotten that. That stick in my mind like that does. So, it is what it is. I'll get it one day. One day. But yeah, anyways, that's the end of this meme thing. I am so glad I cut it down. Can you imagine how long you'd be sitting there watching me if I hadn't? But if you haven't gotten enough of me, make sure you go ahead and watch my other videos, because I like to make these videos. I like to talk about figures, and I would love if you guys would do this meme opinion video too. I think it'd be really cool if we get a bunch of people to do it. Be like the good old days of YouTube, where people used to just all do tags, like within different subcultures and stuff. They'd have their own little tags, and it'd be like our whole little community getting together. So regardless of how many videos you've made, regardless of how many subscribers you have, I suggest you make this video and share it far and wide with all of us, so everyone can be like, you know, one big old happy figure collecting family. I hope you all have a great day, and I will see you all next time. Alright? Bye!